Hello, my friend. Welcome to another episode of the DMT podcast. I got asked a fantastic question on another podcast just a short while ago. And that question was, Cam, what are the five most important lessons that you've learned as a husband, as a father, and someone who's trying to build a business, stay fit, balance work and family, all of those things? And it was a great question. And I've been asked that type of question before. But for some reason, right now, where I'm at in this stage of life and what's happening in the world right now, it hit me a little bit different. And so I took some time and I answered that question the best I could in the moment. But I left that conversation thinking, what are the top five things that I've learned? And so I've sat down and I've reflected over a cup of coffee in the early morning. And I've come up with my five must know insights that I've had over my adventure in not knowing over the last 12 years as a father and over the last 8, 9 years as an entrepreneur while also being a professional and having a full-time job. So I want to share with these top five must know insights with you because I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't have all the answers. And I know you know that, but I think sometimes you listen to a podcast and you think the host has all the answers, and I don't. I am learning with you. I bring people on here selfishly so I can learn too. And I want to share what I've learned over this adventure with you so that hopefully you can take one of these five, four of these, 5 out of 5, whatever you need to help you be the father, the husband, and leader that you are called to be. So let's dive in. My five must know insights on being a busy dad here on the Dads Making a Difference podcast. All right, my friend, here we are. I literally just came into my office, sat down because I wanted to record this for you. Actually, it is Thanksgiving Sunday. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving Monday here in Canada. So happy Thanksgiving to all my Canadian friends if you celebrated this past weekend, because I don't want to spoil this for you guys, but I don't want to spoil the magic of podcasting, but I'm not recording this the day you hear it. So it is actually a late minute recording. We're going to push the interviews we had. And I wanted to come to you this week with a question that I was personally asked. So today we're diving into the five must know insights that I've had over the last 12 years of being a father, a busy dad who's trying to build a business, show up every day for my wife and kids, and really be the best professional and entrepreneur that I can be. And it's a hard balancing act. It really is. And I've kind of been in this time right now where I'm really focusing on the word time, on presence, on being available, on being connected. And it's something that I think is really important for us as fathers, for us to truly be leaders in our home. To truly be a leader in our home, we need to show up and we need to be in control and we need to have presence because we set the temperature. We are the thermostat in the home. But however, sometimes we've got to do that even when we don't feel like it. But I want to share my five must know insights from my work in trying to be the best husband, best father, best coach, best leader that I can be. And this came from a question. You heard it in the intro, but I want to re-say it. It was, Cam, what are the five most important lessons that you've learned as a husband, a father, and someone who's trying to stay fit while balancing work and family? Really long question, but great question. And I was thankful for it because it really made me stop and think because, life gets busy, whether it's work, shuttling kids around, or managing responsibilities at home, in business, or in the workplace, life gets busy. But over the years, through trial and error, struggle and triumph, I've found a few things that have really helped me stay grounded, things that have helped me stay focused, even when that focus might deviate a little bit, but stay focused on the long-term goals that I have. And I hope that by sharing them with you, it can help you rock your lifestyle, your health, your family, your leadership this week. So let's dive in. I'm going to get right into it because I guess this comes with a preface, and I said it in the intro. I don't have all the answers, guys. I started this podcast because I was struggling. I was coming out of a time where I had no answers. I was looking for help. I was looking for guidance, but I had a calling in my heart. And I knew that men were just like me, suffering in silence, struggling for direction and connection and growth. And so I started Dad's Making a Difference podcast. And through the last 2 years, I've been able to interview and have conversations with amazing people. And I'm so glad that you show up every week to listen to it, because I show up every week to do these because selfishly, I want to grow. From every guest that we have, I pick our guests intentionally. Even the ones who reach out to me and say, "Hey, Cam, I'd love to be on your podcast." There's always a pre call, there's always a vetting process, and we dive through. And I know there's at least one nugget, one thing that that guest is going to bring to the conversation that can change your life and change the trajectory of your family's life. And so here we are today, a day where I want to share with you something that I've been challenged with coming up with, these 5 things. And it took me some thought. It took me some reflection. I've scribbled them out. I've re-edited them. I've done all those different things. But here's the truth of it. It's not as hard as you think it is. I realize that as a dad and as a husband, that a lot of times we put barriers in front of ourselves and we make excuses for the way things are going, or we'll use our relationship with our wife or our marriage and our relationship with our kids or their activities as a crutch that we can lean on as an excuse for why we can't do what we're meant to be doing. And so these 5 must know insights, I hope they speak to you. I hope you can relate to at least one of them that you can take into your week and implement some type of action item through it. And I'm going to share those with you as well, of course. So first, here we are. We're busy dads in an age where our kids are more involved, more connected than ever. In my work and my professional life, kids are more connected and more involved than ever. And I've been blessed to be able to work with youth for the last 17 years. 17 years I've worked with kids from the ages of 5 to 18 in various environments, day to day, and I've worked with the adults that support them. I also have raised my own kids alongside my beautiful, talented, and very supportive wife. And through all of these experiences, I've learned one thing, that whether I am a husband, a father, a professional, a coach, a principal, whatever I might be, I need to find some balance. And I'm not saying work-life balance, but I'm finding a balance in myself, in my soul, in my mind of who I am in the moment, knowing that I can't turn it off. When I go to work, I am still a father. When I go home, I am still a principal. When I go to church, I am still a public school employee. When I talk to one of my clients, I know I'm their coach, but I'm also my wife's husband. I have all of these roles and hats that I wear, and I know I need to be able to find balance, because it's easy to get caught up in one thing, and lose sight of the bigger picture. And I've learned that balance doesn't just happen. It's something you create. I remember one particular time when I was completely immersed in my work. And when I say work, I mean things I'm doing for other people. I mean work for the school division while simultaneously working in my own business. And I was trying to grow my business while also fulfilling my duties as a school administrator. And I thought the best way to do that in that time was to put in long hours, up early, at the school late, in the office here at home late, at the university doing study and research late. But I'd leave home in the morning, early workout, whatever have you, and I get home late at night. And by the time I got home, I was just exhausted. I was just too tired to engage with my kids. Truthfully, I wanted to get down on the floor and play Hot Wheels with Braylon or read with Maya. I wanted to do these things without being able to, like, I would lay down next to Maya on her bed and we'd read at night and I'd fall asleep while she was reading. I was just too tired to engage. But it was one day, and I've shared this before. One day, Bray asked me why I was too busy to play with him. And that was a wake up call. I got home from work and he's like, "Daddy, you want to play?" I said, "No, but I got this to do. I got this call." And he's like, "Why are you too busy to play with me?" And I realized I needed to set boundaries. In that moment, I needed to set boundaries. Now I set specific work hours to stay focused. It's not because my work's not important, but it is just my work. It is not my life. And then I know that it's time to unplug when it's family time. So here's how I keep balance. 3 things. And these are 3 things that I would encourage you to do. Three things: set specific work hours to stay focused, then unplug when it's family time. The hardest thing is when we have a device in front of us, it's really easy to stay connected to work. If you are working at home, it's really easy to slip into the office just to get a couple things done or get ahead for the next day. You need to be able to separate work from home. And I encourage you to do that, to unplug when it's family time and be present. I keep my phone on silent when I'm with the family. My friends know this. If my best friend Rob is listening to this right now, he knows I never pick up his calls. Well, it's because it's on do not disturb. But people start to understand the boundaries that you've put in. They'll respect you for it, because those moments with my family are priceless. And no message or email is more important. The people who matter most are in that moment with me. My family, my kids, and my wife are with me. And that's the most important thing. And so I put my phone on silent. Also, I am a guy who, over the last 8 years especially, has said yes to a lot of things. I've done a lot of projects. I have tried to do it all. And one of the things I've learned, and an insight that I've come to with the help of conversation with my wife, is that I check in with Kim before I commit to new projects to make sure that we're on the same page. She is my rock. She is my rock here at home. And when it comes to maintaining balance, her perspective often helps me see the bigger picture. And so I want to encourage you to involve your wife in those big decisions. Even if you are starting a new project in the office or at home or with a friend, whatever it is, run it by your wife. And I'm not saying for her approval. It's not approval that I'm looking for. It's connection, and it's conversation, and it's questions about what I might not be thinking about. So I check in with her so she's informed and I'm informed, and we're on the same page. So that's step one. My first insight for being a busy dad is to find balance through specific work hours, family time, phone on silent, and checking with my wife to making sure we're on the same page. Second, and this is a health related one for all the guys in my Fight the Dad Bod community, I was thinking about my relationship with food. I was thinking about my relationship with food and how it impacts how I perform in my job, I perform at home, how I feel, how I act, how my hormones are, all of it. Food is such a controlling factor. And you might be listening to this, Cam, this is out of left field. It's really not. If you know me, you know that I'm dialed in when it comes to nutrition. And it's because I know when my body feels best. And if I am fueling my body the best way that I can, my body will perform the best way that it can. I'm not putting regular grade fuel in a premium machine. And I know you might be laughing about that, but no matter what shape you're in right now, you need to start giving yourself premium, because you deserve it and you will get better results from it. So I changed my relationship with food, and you need to do the same. I'm not going to say maybe you should do the same. No, you absolutely need to do this. You need to see food as fuel. I used to see it as a tool to get a desired physical state. That's all I used it for. Weight loss, muscle gain, beach body, whatever you wanted. Because there was a time when I treated weekends like an all you can eat buffet, and I felt I deserved it. It was my way to unwind, but I always felt sluggish and guilty. Many of you know, if you've listened to this, I've also given up alcohol. I haven't drank alcohol in over a year. Give myself a little pat on the back because I love a bourbon. But I haven't had, it was actually a year, October 1st, that I have not had alcohol, and I feel great. Are there times I miss it? Yeah, sure. Kim and I were talking the other day about, oh, it'd be nice to have a glass of wine sitting on the couch, but I haven't had alcohol in a year and I feel really good for it. But it's the discipline and the understanding that I don't really need this. I don't really need this in my life. I don't need it to be social. I don't need it to have fun. I don't need it to wind down. I don't need it to relax. I don't need it to manage stress. I don't need it. And so why would I put poison into my body that I don't really need? So my relationship with food encompasses all of that: sugar, alcohol, all those things, because I want my body to perform great. Because now at almost 44 years old, I view food as a really important way of taking care of my body and keeping my energy up, which my kids and my wife need. Now, Teaching my kids about the role of food is also important. And so when I change my relationship with food, I am the leader in my home. My kids will do the same. My kids are seeing what dad's doing. My kids are watching. Your kids are watching you. So teaching my kids about the role of food has been one of the best things I've ever done. And now, instead of seeing veggies as punishment, they see them as fuel that helps them run faster and jump higher and feel better. We have a snack drawer in the fridge. Braylon loves it. I'm not going to exaggerate, but we probably go through 12 to 15 little mini cucumbers in 5 days because that kid, he loves his mini cucumbers. But you know what he's not grabbing? Fruit snacks, candy, granola bar, those types of things. He's grabbing apples and oranges and bananas and cucumbers and tomatoes and things that we have readily available. His relationship with food is going to set him up for success. And I am teaching him that as a father. And so, my encouragement for you is change your relationship with food, then influence your family to do the same, and you will change the trajectory of their health and your health, of course. Another health related one, because this is where I was thinking about this. I was actually at the gym doing a stretch and I was thinking about these 5 things. And the other one is like to have fun with your workouts. There have been times, man, in my journey where fitness has just sucked. It's just no fun, to be honest with you. It felt like something I had to do. And the truth is, workouts don't have to be a drag. They don't have to be those things you dread that you have to do. I vividly remember walking on a treadmill at 3.5 miles per hour at a 6-degree incline for countless minutes. Even had to like take a magazine to just like put it over the treadmill's display so I couldn't see the time and I could just distract myself because I was doing that because I wanted the quote unquote summer body. I wanted to look good. I wanted to be shredded. I remember that. That was a drag. I didn't enjoy that. And truthfully, I didn't even enjoy where my body was at in that time because I was so mentally caught up in how it appeared that I didn't really realize how it felt. And I want you to feel good. And to feel good, you need to enjoy what you're doing. Because if your workouts feel like torture, there's no way you're going to keep on going with your workouts. There's got to be a better way. So a few years ago, I decided to switch things up. I started to work out 3 to 4 times a week. Right now, I'm working 3 times a week, full body workouts, different types of muscle tension and damage and volume and all these things. And I feel great. My body feels great. I have time to recover. But what really set the tone for me was I changed my workout cadence 3 to 4 times a week, and I started playing basketball one night a week with some friends. And I looked forward to that night more than anything else, and it felt great. It was a game changer. I looked forward to it all week. Now, whether it's hiking, playing a sport, working out with the kids, find what makes you happy and make it part of your routine. Because I've said videos before, you see it on my Fight the Dab on Instagram, I say, hey, this looks like a gym to me. And we're sitting in the mountains because it really is. We want to be adventurous. We want to be active. Just last weekend, Maya and I went on an adventure. It was just a walk. It wasn't anything extreme on a local trail, but we had a blast. It was time together. It was time where we could just get down by the river and walk, and the beauty of the leaves were changing and connect. But we were out and we were moving and we were being active. So make movement fun, and it will become something you look forward to rather than a chore. That was insight number 3. Insight number 4, what I've learned over the last 8 to 9 years of doing this. Remember, nothing is really that important. This is a hard one. Nothing is really that important. There is a bigger picture. I used to stress about every little thing. Man, I remember in my 20s when I was like a carefree basketball player going to college, not passing my classes. I wasn't stressed then. But as soon as I got out of school and realized that I was on my own dime, on my own time, I needed to start manning up, for lack of a better term. And then I started to stress about every little thing. My 20s, like I said, they were filled with late nights, early mornings. But in my 30s, I was always worrying about making the next deadline or impressing the wrong people or the right people. I just wanted to measure up. I wanted to show that I could do it, that I had what it took, that I had the skills necessary. Now, here's the thing: as a dad, you are developing the skills necessary. Right now, you're listening to this podcast, and that shows that you are eager to grow and to learn and develop skills. So, hey, give yourself a pat on the back right now. Give yourself some props, because what I've learned the most is that the more that we worry, the less that we do. And when I was stressing about every little thing and worrying, I was so unproductive. I've learned that most of what we worry about just doesn't matter in the long run. The long run. Like, one moment that really shifted my perspective um, was I was busy. I was doing some work. I was doing some subcontracted coaching, and we're doing an online workshop. And I ended up missing one of my son's soccer games, or matches, the proper term, soccer games for it, because I had an online workshop that I thought was more important. Now, when he got home, he didn't say it, but I could see it. The disappointment on his face is something I'll never forget. It was a harsh reminder of the things that were important weren't always the things that mattered most. I just thought, like, I was doing everything for my family. I was working hard for my family. I was earning for my family. I was doing this for them, but it was actually taking me away from them. So now I try to focus on what I can control. I take action, and then I accept the outcome, good or bad. And I do this through three simple steps, a three-step process of how I own this. And I want you to try this. If you got a big thing coming up, maybe it's at work, maybe it's in your family, I want you to try this three-step and let me know how it goes, because it's really worked for me and it's put my mind at ease. Now, I do have a tendency to stress about some things still, and I'm working on that. But this three-step process really helps. First, I ask myself, what is the worst case scenario? Most of the time, it's not nearly as bad as I imagine. And it helps me let go of the unnecessary stress. So, what is the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario. If you start there, it's not going to go anywhere else, because you're going to say, oh, this is the absolute worst case scenario. And it's really not that bad. So, that's step one. So step two is, like, if the worst case scenario is uncomfortable, then I take proactive steps to address it instead of freezing in the moment. What's the worst case scenario? Oh, this is the worst case scenario. Okay. All right. That's uncomfortable. What are the steps that I can take right now to address it instead of freezing in the moment if that was to happen? And then step three is that I accept the outcome, I learn from it, and I move on. Life's too short to dwell on the things that are out of our control. And so instead of stressing about things right now, I look at it through this three-step process. I ask myself, what's the worst case scenario? Then I look at the uncomfort level, and then I act proactively if that was to happen. And I know that, hey, I got a plan. Then I accept the outcome. I learn from it. I move on. And when I look at these three things, it helps me take bigger risks, because my entire life I've been pretty risk averse. And now this allows me to take risks in a healthy way so that I'm not stressing about them. And so in your life, if you're about to take a risk, I want you to go through this three-step process. And if you need some help doing that, reach out. Send me an email, cam@dmdpodcast.com, and just say, hey, man, I'm navigating this really intense situation where I need some guidance. What do you got for me? And I'd love to connect with you on that. All right. The fifth insight that I've come away with, and this is tied into what we just talked about, is stay unattached to the outcome. Whether this is in a health journey, whether you're looking to lose weight, build muscle, whatever it is, have less stress, make more money, have a better relationship with your wife, your kids, stay unattached to the outcome. Dive into the process. It's really easy to get caught up in results, but what's more important than the results is the journey. So whether it's your health, your work, your life, your family life, cherish every step along the way. 2017 to 2021, I wish I really would have, like, cherished every step in that developmental process. I'm cherishing it now. I'm looking back at notes and experiences that I had, places that I went, people I connected with, and I'm reading back through those notes and I'm cherishing it now. I wish I would have done it in the moment. Every step along the way, it's okay to set goals. I'm not saying don't set goals, detach yourself from the outcome. I'm saying set goals, but don't let them define your happiness. Detach yourself from the outcome. Work towards it, but don't let those goals define your happiness. I used to be so focused on hitting goals, hitting my SMART goals, whether it was a number on the scale, a business milestone, or something else, that I'd miss out on the joy of the process. And I don't want that for you. So now I remind myself it's the little moments that make the journey worthwhile. And just before I close off, set big goals, like set really big goals. And I think it's a 12-week year, a great book. He says, big, hairy, audacious goals. Like you got to just get really creative and put it out there and go for it. But enjoy the process, enjoy the steps along the way. Don't get caught up in not making it or what could go wrong. So there you go, my friend. 5 insights that I took some time to reflect on. I want to share them with you. Let's review them one more time. First, find your balance as a dad. Remember, it's easy to get caught up. Set specific work hours, stay focused, phone on silent, conversation with your wife before you start any new projects. Those 3 things have helped me keep focus and balance as a dad. The second insight, change your relationship with food. Food is fuel, my friend. It's not a tool to lose weight or gain muscle. And when you change your relationship with food, you are going to feel better. And teaching your kids about the role of food will be one of the best things that you ever do. Third, have fun with your workouts. Man, working out doesn't have to suck. So if it does, reach out. We're going to make it not suck. Just know that you're going to do it. Have fun. Be active. Do what you need to do to move your body with your family, get outside, live a fit, healthy, fulfilled, adventurous life. That's why we're here. Fourth insight, remember, nothing is really that important. So ask yourself the 3-step process. Remember, what's the worst case scenario? If it's uncomfortable, what proactive steps can I take to overcome that worst case scenario before it even happens? And when you have steps in place before that even happens, you're more confident to take the risk and accept the outcome. Accept it, learn from it, and move on. Life's too short to dwell on the things that are out of your control. And the 5th insight, stay unattached to the outcome. Set big, hairy, audacious goals. Set those massive goals, but love the process, the step-by-steps to get there. That is the most important piece. So love each and every step, learn from it, detach yourself from the outcome, and you're going to live a healthier life, a happier life for it. My friend, I appreciate you. I hope this was valuable to you. If it was, please leave a review, rate us 5 stars, share this episode with someone you know needs to hear it. And if you're looking to connect, cam@dmdpodcast.com, fire me an email. You can get you tied into one of our communities where we can lift you up as a leader in your home, a leader in your business, and a leader in your family. Looking forward to connecting with you next week on the next episode of the Dads Making a Difference podcast.